Okay, we are starting a new unit. So in your right-hand corner, you can go ahead and put a number 1 because this is the first set of class notes for our new unit. Okay? Okay, so my first thing that I want you guys to be able to think about is why we do the things we do during our lessons. What is it that we're trying to learn? So it says by the end of this lesson, you will be able to, so write this down. You'll be able to know polynomial vocabulary and how to add and subtract them. So you'll know polynomial. Ooh, let's make that a P. Vocabulary. And how to add and subtract them. Okay. Some of this vocabulary you might have seen before. Some of it might be brand new. Some of it you might have seen in some other classes, maybe in science class. Um, so let's go through these 6 terms and see if we know where they belong. So the first one, the definition says these are counters. They tell you how many times a base is being multiplied. So in my example, that 4 is what I'm talking about. So what's that 4 called? It's called an exponent. Those tell you how many times something is being multiplied. So exponent, go ahead and write that in your line right in front of your definition. Now once you do that, we can cross it off our list. The next one says blank is a number or variable. So it could be, I wrote some examples down. It could be a 5, it could be a, it could be 4x. Anything that's a number or a variable is called a term. That's a quick short one. Next one is the mathematical word for one term. Look at the different vocabulary words you have there. Thinking back to using half of your word. If you guys look at that first one, it says mono. What does mono mean? It means one. So monomial is a mathematical term for one. Monomial. And cross that out. The next one says, is the addition or subtraction of 2 unlike terms. If there's 2 terms, well, think about it. A bicycle starts BI, and that's got 2 wheels. So what's similar to that? Binomial, because bi is 2. So binomial has 2 terms. The next one says is the addition or subtraction of 3 unlike terms. Well, if I told you guys a bicycle has 2 wheels, what other kind of bike has more than 2 wheels? A tricycle. So a trinomial, because that means 3. Trinomial. Think of tricycle. It's got 3 wheels. And the last one, a multi-term expression is a polynomial. Poly means many. So polynomial. Okay, those are the vocab words we should know. Flip to your next page. Let's get going. Okay, so it says, what are like terms? What can we group together? It's always your same variables and your exponents. So what are like terms? They have the same variable and exponents. And if that doesn't make sense to you, we're going to do something that will help you make sense of it. And there's always a rule for simplifying polynomials. The blank and the blank need to be the same. Well, what did I write up above? Variables and exponents need to be the same. I'm going to try to drill that in so we always remember that. The variables and the exponents need to be the same. Now, if you're not making sense of what that means, if you guys look at these numbers down here, there's numbers and variables and exponents, and we're going to pair what belongs together, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is put a circle around my 3x4. I'm looking for the same variable. Remember, my variable is the letter. So I'm looking for the same variable and exponent. For this one right here, I've got a variable, which is x, but I don't have the same exponent. And I also have a y that's hanging out with that. I don't want that. Right next to it, I have an 8x4. Is my variable the same? Do I have x's on both my 3x4 and this one? I have an x, and my exponent is the same, so these two get paired together. So put circles around those. Now let's put a box around my 5y2. I'm looking for something else that has the same variable and exponent. So I need a y2 somewhere. It doesn't matter what number's in front of it, but it's got to just have a y2. It can't have anything else other than a y2. So where did you guys find it? Put a box around it. If you're putting a box around 200, you are right. Okay. Now I'm going to put a triangle around my 12x to the third and y4. I'm looking for the same variable and exponent. Where else do I see an x3 and a y4? Ding, 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 ding. You guys found it. And then the last one, my 5wz, has got the same variable and exponent as 11wz. Because remember, if there's nothing there, there's really a 1 that's hanging out with that w, and there's really a 1 hanging out with that z. Same with this 11. There's really a 1 there and a 1. Either case are the same, so if you want to put a squiggly around that, so you know that those are like terms, go ahead and do that. So now we know what like terms are. It's got to have the same variables and exponents. Looking at example 1, it says, we've got a positive 3a plus a negative 8a. Are both my variables and my exponents the same? Yes, because there's really just a 1 by the a and a 1 there. So if I'm going to put this in my calculator, so make sure you have your calculator in front of you, I'm putting in positive 3 plus negative 8. And I would get negative 5 and just bring down your a. Done. Pretty easy. Look at number 2. Are my variables the same? Do I have a b2 and a b2? I do. Can I put those together? I can. Now remember your rule, and we'll go over this a little bit later when we have more subtracting ones. When there's a negative, I always make it a positive, and then I make this a positive. Just helps keep things straight in my head. So now I've got negative 12b squared plus 5b squared. So that gives me a negative 7b squared. Okay? If you wanted to, you could have said negative 12 in your calculator minus and then a negative 5b squared. You would have gotten the same answer. Example 3. Okay, what can I put together? Where are my like terms? Be careful. Take a look at this. Do you guys see that we've got a negative 15abc? And that goes with my positive 6abc. But my 8 only has an a and a b. It doesn't have a C, so I can't put that together. That's different. So what do? I put the first two together. I put my like terms together. Negative 15 plus 6 gives me negative 9. And then I bring down my variables, A, B, C. I can't do anything with that negative 8 AB. I can't put that anywhere, so all I do is just bring it down. Negative 8 AB. Done. Look at number 4. Same thing. Find your like terms. So I've got my 3AB. What else can I put with my 3AB? My AB here, because there's really a 1 in front of it, and the variables are still the same. So take the sign with it. So it's negative 1AB. Do I have another AB anywhere? Yep, right next to it. My 4AB. What do I have left? I've got a positive 5B and a negative 2B. Those two we can term up in a minute. So let's go through and do the circles. We've got 3 minus 1 plus 4. That would give me 6. Bring down your variable, A, B. Now I can do my boxes. I've got positive 5 minus 2. So what's 5 minus 2 is a positive 3B. Okay? All I'm doing is combining like terms. Number 5. Okay, let's look at number 5. Express the sum. What does sum mean? Who remembers? Sum means to add. So we're just adding what we have here. So what can I put together? My 3x2. What's that the same as? Where do I see an x2? Right here. So those go together. My 5 and my 8 can be paired up together. And always take the sign in front of your number. So 3x squared plus 6x squared. All you're doing is adding 3 and 6. You're getting 9x squared. And then 5 minus 8 gives me a negative 3. Okay? All right, last one on this page. Express the following in simplest form. Let's do it all over again. Don't worry about the parentheses because we're adding, so we're putting like terms together. So go ahead, circle your 6AB. Where else do I see a 6AB? Well, now it's at the back of the problem, so it's this 7AB, and take that positive with you. Where else do I see like terms? So I need the variable and the exponent the same. I've got a positive 4b to the third, or cubed. Do I have that anywhere else? I do. That 5b cubed. So I box it using my sign in front. And then what else is left? I've got my positive 2b and my positive 7b. So if you were to go ahead and put your 6ab and your 7ab together, all you're doing, 6 plus 7 is 13. Write down your variable, ab. So we're done with those ones. We can cross them off if we need to. What else is left? Go to your box. You've got positive 4b cubed minus 5b cubed. So that's just saying positive 4 minus 5, you get 1. So you can just leave it as b cubed because we know that right in front of that b there's a 1. Those ones are done. And then what do we have left? We have a positive 2b squared plus 7b squared. So 2 plus 7 is going to give me 9b squared. Okay? Not so bad. Okay. Why don't we stop, because I'm not going to have enough time to go over the next part. My video is going to run out. So go ahead, back to adding and subtracting polynomials and hit video 2 or part 2.